You are now listening to the Old Head, New Head podcast with your hosts, Eric Iberg and Ethan Schaefer.
Goddamn kids.
Shut up, old man!
No 40s at all the places I got, but I got some rosé. Looks like a Foudy bottle.
I got my Rainier. We're in two unique locations right now. I am in the Hoodland Thriftway parking lot, or like the commuter lot across the street on Starlink. I'm in my van, and you're in Quebec, correct?
Stony ham. Stone ham, man. I'm not even getting stoned in Stony ham. It's crazy.
So this is your first no weed episode.
I smoked a bunch before. Not a bunch. Very minimum, actually, compared to relative. But, I had a little doobie outside beside my little hot tub that I got.
Sick. So you got the TBL Pro models behind you, but before we get into who we have today, let's go over some stuff. So we got, what do we even have? We got the GoFundMe. It's blowing up. We're at like $1,700 right now. It's pretty lit. That link will be in the description for anyone that wants to donate. Got some merch in the description, hopefully, discount codes, subscribe and give us 5 stars, all that stuff on the streaming platforms. What else you cooking up?
I don't even know. We got a bunch done on the freeskimuseum.com last night, so that should be up and running by the time this show is. The Bark and Butter video game on Steam should be in full demo available by the time this comes out. Got B&E Store.com with all Phil and Henrik's pro models and shit. So, yeah, man. And then a bunch of other shit. Like even right now, Phil's doing his summer off the leash at 8 camp here in a month in Quebec. So summer version's coming out. Just keep him busy, man. Henrik's got a bunch of fucking awesome shit going on. He's coming back from a year of injury and it's going to go
sick. So it'll be good, yeah.
Drink out of the bottle, this is a dope-ass bottle. It'd be doper if it was 100 milliliters.
It might spray on you if you drink out the bottle. So
no, there's no.
Who we got today? We got our first new head lady, Taylor Brooke Lundquist. And what did you know about her? Because she's more my generation skier.
But she's older than you.
She is. She's like, I think she's 5 years older than me. But that means that she's still like 15 years younger than you.
Yeah. 85, I think I learned she was born in yesterday. So.
Yep. So what do you know about her?
I know she's been around for a little bit. I really don't know much. So I know she just did a all women's event this spring. I know she's got the only pro model women's boot on the market, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't follow pro model boots too closely, so you probably know.
Yeah, I don't think there is another woman that has a pro model boot in twin tip skiing. And then I think the only other female, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with a pro model ski is that girl that has a surface pro model this year for the first time. I forgot her
Teresa?
name. Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah.
But I think Taylor's had hers for a couple of years. So obviously she's doing something. Obviously the industry thinks she's dope. Obviously the kids think she's dope. So I kind of am super stoked to see where she came from. I learned she's from Utah, but as far as I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah, it'll be sick. I've always thought of Taylor as kind of like the modern pioneer of women's skiing. She was the first invited to X Games Real Ski. She's doing her women's only event, which is, some people wonder how we do the select people for this show. Having this combo of being a dope skier and then doing something other than just skiing is like a perfect recipe to get an invite on here if anyone's trying to get an invite themselves. So the fact that she had one of the first women's only events that I've ever seen is definitely punched her ticket for an invite, because I was very impressed with that. That's like what I'm most excited to talk to her about. And but we'll get there. That'll be towards the end of the show.
I always thought like the best way to get on this show was to contact you directly or have the agent contact you and ask you if they can be on the show.
When people ask me to be on the show, especially if they're doing some stuff, then I'm very inclined, because that means that they want to talk. and that's great to have out of a guest. But we hit up Taylor out of.
And if you have the confidence to ask us, because we're stoked on it. I love confidence, man.
Yeah.
But just really think about what the fuck you do. Because I think the formula now is that after a season and a half, like everyone we had does more.
Yep, exactly.
Creates their own shit. So
yeah, so
that's what Taylor's doing.
Taylor's doing more. I'm excited to talk to her. We're running about 5 minutes late due to technical difficulties, so I'm gonna send her this link right now to get her in here, and it'll be tight. We'll learn some stuff, and let's see how it goes. You got a beautiful setup right now. This is probably the best looking background you've had in a long time.
That's crazy. What are you trying to say, man? My garage and skis aren't dope?
Yeah, I mean, the skis are dope, and the setting is, the old setting's iconic, but this one looks clean, great lighting. I feel like I could actually see it clearly for the first time.
Yeah, no one watches this shit, man. It's all about just listening.
It's all audio. Oh, here's Taylor.
That was quick. Person ever to enter.
What's
Hello.
up, Taylor?
How's it going?
Hola.
All is good. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being on this, Taylor. Appreciate it a lot.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, have you and I know that we've never met before. Have you and Iberg ever met before?
We met super briefly in Minnesota.
Buck Hill Tell a Friend tour, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
Yeah, I think it was the year after or before COVID. Or maybe it was even COVID. I don't know. Maybe it was right before COVID hit in 2020.
Yeah, I remember Andy getting pretty upset about people not wearing masks inside. So I bet it was like during COVID times.
Oh man, Andy. That's awesome.
Sick. Well, that's cool that you guys have met before. Iberg, do you want to give a little rundown on what we do here just so Taylor can get up to speed?
Yeah, so this is kind of just explained at the beginning of every show to the people that are listening the first time, and to you too. Like, so as on Ethan's show, the Two Planker podcast, like 2 years, I was doing it. Like, we got done, had an awesome conversation, and I was like, man, I'm like 20 years older than you, and I really like super interested why you guys think what you think, because I'm 44 at the time, he's 24, and I'm like, I just don't get what the younger kids are doing. Now, I don't have any of my younger, right? So I don't have the scene of like 25 and younger. So I can't ask them. I only can consume it. And so like when I consume it all the time, I'm like, I know why me and my friends did what we did. What if we create a show where we talk to the old heads and the new heads, and the old heads can explain how they created their own lane and why they're still around or why they're remembered. And we can teach the young kids that are listening to it who these guys were. And then for the new heads, we can invite on, I can learn why you guys do what you do. And then we can like tell you, just go from there. So the point is, obviously you're doing some dope ass shit. Obviously you're creating your own lane in the sport and you're not like anyone else. So it's just kind of a way for me to learn why you do what you do, because I think you're creating your own lane, and it's an excuse for me to meet people and talk to them about skiing for a long time. So that's the point of this show. So I appreciate a lot for you being on it, because
I love it. Got to educate the youth. I think I'm pretty close to being an old head myself. But
oh, I know. And it's hilarious when I look at 30, but at the same time, since you're a pioneer, as far as like creating this own lane that you're doing, you can still be so young. If you do this career for another 15 years, you're a baby in the sport.
Totally.
So that's kind of how I see it too. Like, you've been quietly creeping, but in the last like 4 or 5 years is when like you've knocked down the door with your pro models and like your events and your winnings and your popularity. So yeah, I still consider you a new head. It's like even the guy who has Vishnu, who's had a fucking ski company for 12 years, I'm like, you're a new head. So it's that's my old head ignorance though.
I'll take it.
Awesome.
Sick.
So Ethan,
yeah,
Ethan kind of takes over the beginning. We do go through just like, because I try not to learn. I was going to watch a bunch of stuff and learn on you, and I was just like, it's not how I learn about meat. I just ask them. And so we kind of just go through just where you came from, all these fun things at the beginning, and then tangent like a motherfucker. So
Sweet.
Ethan, You want to start?
Yeah, sick. I actually remember listening to your bomb hole episode when it came out, and I was so stoked. There's only been like a handful of skiers, so it's like you and Tanner, and maybe like a couple others at most. So I forgot a lot of the stuff from that episode. So I'm also kind of going in with the opportunity to learn. So could you tell us like where you grew up, like what your setup was like for your youth? Any siblings, mom, dad, who was around? Just the
And
whole.
also the year that you were like born in, because that kind of helps me understand where you always were in life.
Yeah. I was born in 1993.
Okay.
I grew up in Park City mainly. My parents were divorced. I don't remember them together. I was mainly with my mom. I'd go visit my dad every other weekend. He lived just in the valley in Sandy, Utah.
So in the 90s, what do your parents do for a job in Park City?
So my mom at that time, at my first like 10 years of life, my mom was selling cars. She'd make the
Okay.
commute down to Salt Lake, sell cars, and then she got into like financing cars. And my dad and his brothers had their own business called Lundquist Restorations. They would completely restore old cars. And my dad also had a little side hustle in his compound, and he'd redo props for boats.
Okay. And were they originally from Utah?
Yeah, mom and dad are born and raised here.
Okay. But not Park City born.
No, not Park City.
Okay. Are they Mormon?
Nope.
Okay.
No, my mom's mom was Mormon a little bit, but it's never been a part of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're one of the rare people I've ever met that was born in you, but I've never met anyone born in Park City really before. Like it's
The only other
it's not
person we
that
had on
normal.
was Joss. Was the only other Park City kid that we had on here.
Yeah.
That's
Grew up
true.
with Joss. Shlopi, I don't know. We also grew up together. I don't know if Shlopi was born there, but he was definitely raised there.
I guess the Peters were from there as well,
The
like Tosh and
Peters.
Max and all them, because they grew up
Mhm.
like this. So yeah, no, that's awesome.
Do you have siblings?
So you,
Sorry, my dog might be barking
Oh, you're good.
quite a bit.
It's all.
I have an older brother. He is 9 years older than me.
Whoa, that's way older.
Yeah, way older. He's got a 19-year-old kid right now, a 13-year-old boy as well. But we're tight.
That's sick.
Great.
Yeah.
That's sick.
so you said you didn't remember your parents being together, or you did?
No, I was 2 when they got divorced, so they were always civil, but
So Park City was pretty epic. I gotta go there. Like I don't know, for like they had junior nationals and all this stuff for aerials and moguls and all this through the late 90s. So I got to watch like nationals. I remember in 99 at Deer Valley for moguls and whatever the water ramps and the camps and stuff like this. So like I'm just imagining you as a maybe 8, 9, 10. And even when you were like when you were 9, the Olympics were there. So the amount of stuff that you were experienced to in this culture, and it was pretty small back then, because even until the early 2000s, say like 2006, it wasn't as big as it is now. Like Park City's quadrupled in size since 2006, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like when coming up over the pass, like we used to just look at that tubing hill and dream of what Woodward was. We'd be like, what? You know, we should just build parks there. But so you grow up like this. Did you get involved in any kind of organizations of skiing, or did you just ski for fun with your family, or what?
yeah, I don't know how old I was exactly, but I was definitely in middle school, and I just saw a bunch of my peers like it was called Axis Free Ride at the time. They were doing Axis Free Ride, and I think they came to my school and had a little talk, and I was super interested. I went home and told my mom about it, and shortly after she did some research and got me into the program. So I think I
And
was
what did you like most about it? Jumping, or like, because I mean, every kid loves jumping, right? That's the only reason I joined the freestyle team. So like when you were like Was it all just because that's what your friends were doing, or did you actually have some part of the element of the sport you liked?
I think it was just because my friends were doing it and I wanted to kind of explore it. I would go out with my mom and maybe some ski racer friends and see like King's Crown and see the Payday Park and be like, wow, those people are so cool. I want to try that. And yeah, there wasn't a certain aspect of like, oh, I want to be a flipper and a jumper. I want to hit rails. It was just the park in general and that scene and the clothes they were wearing and their vibe, their attitude. Like I wanted to be that. So
Park City was nuts, right? From like 2004 to maybe 2010. So I'm just trying to imagine, because I mean, you get to watch Stephen Thomas, you have the Peters, that are just, so you have this group that's maybe 5 to 10 years older than you at most, but they're still kids, right?
mhm.
And so, like, I'm just like, when you go out, are you skiing with any of these kids? I mean, Tanner's there in 2004, right? When you're 11, Pep is there.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty nuts. Like, so do you like see these kids in movies? Do you and your friends like go on a chairlift and you're like, yo, that's so and so? Or like, what is it like growing up and having superstars around every day?
Yeah, I think it took me a minute to like dabble in the sport, fall in love, and then I was like, wow, that's like clown school. That's 4x9. That's Henrik. That I remember seeing like Dale and oh, I'm blanking on his name, just another clown school guy, and I remember just being enamored by them. And on top of that, like I'd see Ashley Battersby, Danya, um, definitely Tanner, and a bunch of other pro snowboarders when they were doing like um PC movies. I forget what I read PC movies, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
definitely
did you go to Queen's Cup? You would have been like 11 or 12.
I went there last 2 years, so I was probably like 13,
Awesome.
12.
Because we just talked to Marie Martineau last week.
Yeah, yeah,
And so that was fun. We brought up Anna Demacier and that whole circle of girls
yeah.
and everything like that.
That's what changed my life. Props to them because that was one of the coolest. That may be why I do what I do. Seeing
Wicked.
all those girls and just yeah, that was such a cool time.
And I'm going to get way out of line here, but that's when I saw your event this year. Like, that's what I thought about. I was like, wow, when is a girl that's at the top of the sport, like, did anything for the sport since 2007? Because every girl since then has been like, why aren't we equal? Where's our money? And I was like, man, all those girls back then didn't ask that. They just created their own shit.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was super impressed by you doing that this year rather than being like, where's mine? And you just gave it to people so they had theirs rather than complain about it. So big up yourself on that, to tangent a lot.
Thank you.
Ethan.
Yeah, I'm like holding myself to talk about the event stuff. We'll stay chronology.
Yeah, let's keep it in our young years, man. We got a lot to figure out here. We're only at like 13. We got to figure out who her idols are, what movie she's watching.
Well, that's what I want to ask. So this is like New Schoolers is obviously around at this time. Like the era of edits is already around. What were you watching back then?
My first ski movie I had, I think it was like my first one and only ski movie. That's with it. I probably watched it thousands of times. Ski porn. Yeah, and definitely was on New Schoolers. I just all the stuff, but
So what were you stoked on then? Like, if you were obviously your local culture, but so what do you want to do as someone who's overly hyped to want to do it every day? Do you want to go film? Do you want to go compete? You're on Access, so Access has the ability to bring you to every contest you want.
yeah.
But at the same time, you're watching Clown School and everyone with the camera from 2000, Tom Wallish and crew and 4x9, 2007 to 2011. Like, you could almost do anything you fucking want. So do you even have like a goal as a kid, or are you just going to Park City every day and riding?
Definitely going to Park City every day from 9 to 4, not eating, not drinking anything, just loving it. But yeah, I would do like USSA with Axis, travel with that team. Shout out to Hatch. I would travel with him. It was before like any of it got big. It was probably 6 of us in his Suburban driving to Colorado for Junior Olympics or whatever. Like,
Hatch is Chris Haslock.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was so small and so awesome. Sometimes my mom would come and the other moms would come. And yeah, so I was doing the competing thing on USSA for a while.
And what did you do? Big air, slope style, half pipe,
Slope
or
style.
everything?
Just
Okay.
slope style. Yeah, I was never into the pipe. I don't even know if big air was a thing. Maybe it was.
So because you have one of the best pipes in the world, I can make up reasons, but why aren't you as a kid excited about a half pipe when you have one of 5 in the world, in the country? And I know the answer in my head, but what's your answer?
Good
Like, why isn't
question.
it exciting?
I have no idea. I think it's just like, I don't know, just wasn't interested. I think I tried it a little bit and just felt like I couldn't get creative. It was just the same
Well, it's
hit.
just big. It's 22 feet,
And
right? So
it
imagine
was massive.
you suck until you have to potentially injure yourself. It's not like hitting a 2-foot jump and learning a 360. That's fun. You got to go into the world's biggest. It's like the way I always describe it is, like a triple inverted aerial kicker,
Yeah,
like the ones people do triple backflips off. No one would
yeah,
ever hit that for fun. Well, this is 2 triple inverted aerial kickers all the way down the hill.
exactly.
And so like you're not going to ride up that shit and find it fun ever. Like, at least put a 5-foot pipe in the world.
Totally. I'm all into the mini pipes, slushy mini pipes.
Yeah. Okay, so you're doing events and you're an early teenager. Do you have success in them?
I think I got like a second or third at Junior Olympics in Waterville, New Hampshire. I don't know how old I was, but yeah, I started to do World Cups eventually, and
So how do you make a World Cup team? And what year are you making a World Cup team? Is this previous to the Olympics or after the first Olympics?
so I was definitely trying to go to Sochi, the first Olympics.
Okay.
But I was never on the US team. Um,
How
me,
did you make like, so you did USSA, and then
yep,
I'm guessing maybe you got a NORAM, North American World Cup stop or something?
sounds right. Yeah, Rev Tour, went to Rev Tours.
Okay, Rev was considered NORAMs at the time.
Yep.
So then you had points to make the team, the World Cup team?
And then I had points to go to World Cups, but I never was on the US team.
Really? So you
Yeah.
could go to a World Cup as an American after the first Olympics and not even be on a ABC or development team or junior or whatever they call it?
I don't know how that shit works.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Me and another girl were Nadia Gonzalez. We were Team America. They didn't want us on the US team.
That's fun. So why do you pursue it? Like so what age do you think you are when you go to your World Cups?
Oh, I think I was 17 or 18.
Are you still in high school then?
Yeah, just graduated.
Okay. So if
Yeah.
you do this, I'm guessing it's a big invest. Do you have any sponsors?
I had K2 flowing me some skis, Smith flowing me some goggles, maybe some like small incentives if I got on the podium or something, but no.
How did you get your first sponsors?
So Melissa Rattano, she's a snowboarder, and she would ride PC all the time, and she had just gotten sponsored, and I was like, hey, how do you do that? And she sent me an email that she sent Signal, and I kind of wrote up a similar email and sent it to a bunch of brands, and K2 and Smith hit me back, and yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
that's such a great life hack for any skiers listening. Is just whatever your snowboarder homies are doing, you could totally replicate that because it's none of the same reps. Like you could steal their whole PowerPoint if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Just send
true.
it to a ski rep. Yeah, that's pretty sick that you did that.
Yeah. She was super helpful. And yeah. It's crazy to think
Okay,
back.
so you have sponsors now, and you get to a level where you're allowed to pay for yourself to go to foreign countries and compete for a made-up Team America. Are you it's fun to say out loud. Like, what is the goal at this point? Are you like, fuck mom, or fuck myself, I'm gonna work 50 billion hours a week in the summer to go try to pursue this dream? Or what is the dream at this point when you're paying for yourself to go represent something that doesn't want you to represent them?
The goal, I definitely was like, wow, being an Olympian would be so cool. My mom helped me a shit ton financially. I think I was working at Whole Foods at that point as well. And yeah, I wanted to go to the Olympics, and my mom was stoked on it. My dad was sick my whole life with kidney failure, so he was really stoked on it. And I was like, I don't know how long he's going to be around. Like, be really cool for him to go to the Olympics and watch me do what I love. So that was my main motivation, and I continued to, for the next, like, Pyeongchang, I continued to try. My dad passed away, and I was like, fuck this. It doesn't make me happy anymore. It's expensive. I don't belong here. I'm going to create my own path.
So who are you looking up to, or were you at all like Sochi era? Like when you were watching other girls ski, was there anyone that you thought was ill, or did you just feel like you could be better in your own way?
Sure. Always been a huge fan of Ashley. Grew up watching her with my own eyes, like at Park City Mountain. Kaya Tursky, number one. Kim Lamar. Yeah. Top three right there.
2014. So when did your father pass?
I'm so bad. You're amazing with dates, Iberg. I'm terrible.
So let's just use Sochi and when's that?
7 years ago.
It was after Pyongyang or South Korea? Okay. So you did full attempt from 14 to 18 to try to go.
Yeah. Yes.
So when you would get ready, every summer you knew your goal was to do a World Cup season? And that was kind of all you were looking at in life? You weren't thinking urban, you weren't thinking filming a segment. Did you ever have these goals or concepts at that time period?
Not really, honestly. I was like through and through park rat. It would snow and I'd still be in the park. That's all I wanted to do.
So what do you think it was that didn't get you to the highest level? Were you a mental case in competition? Were you like, what was it for you? Where if you dedicate this much time, we're almost talking 7 years, highest level competition. What do you think it was, looking back in retrospect, that you couldn't be the illest?
Now that we're talking about dates, for Russia, I think that was my goal, but I was still in high school and I was fucking around pretty hard. So, yeah, mom was supporting me having a coach and all this training, and I was hanging around with my friends who weren't doing that and smoking weed and not really given anything back. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I got sent away to a wilderness program and then a boarding school.
That's how bad you were?
I mean, smoking weed and not doing school. But yeah, super bad. My mom likes to say that she saved my life, but
well, what do you think? Did the wilderness camp do anything for you looking back? Or did it just make you mad that someone judged you?
I think everyone needs to go into the wilderness for 2 months for sure. It was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. It made me appreciate a lot of things, and I honestly don't think I'd be who I am today without it. So.
And did you do that before you graduated high school?
Yeah,
so you were
I was
okay.
15, 16. So I had 2 years. I watched Devin Logan. Her and I were like competing together, and I watched her blow up and was so sad about it. And
right, because she came out in like 2009, 10, and then where she went from 9 or 10 to 2011, 12 was a big step for her.
Huge. Yeah, she got on the team and was crushing it. And that was really good for her, but I was pretty bummed at myself for I don't know, making the choices that I did, but if it wasn't for that, like I wouldn't have pushed to be where I am. So
yeah. So 14 to 18 then, you fucked around, you figured out why you didn't go to Sochi as a youth, but then now you're kind of an adult from 14 to 18, 2014, 2018. But what do you think it was for that then to not be able to do it?
I tried. I was close. I thought I was gonna go. I don't know. I don't really.
Did you love doing, like, do you do doubles and all this? Because it was a fun
hell no.
thing to watch women from 14 to 18 because it was such a crazy era, right? Because Kelly in 2014 was one of the illest, but she couldn't flip Silderu, right? So you're just watching her like all of a sudden battle if Kaya is out, and then all of a sudden this little girl could come around, and then you're not watching anyone still go inverted. But then you still got, what's her name, Lisa Zimmerman, who's just like could fuck shit up if she wanted to, but then she didn't ski anymore. And so it's just, to me, it's got to be so fun. Like when I look at women skiing from 14 to 18, because all of a sudden there was so much opportunity. It allowed some to super relax, and then it allowed some to super push, and then it made some people end their careers. Yeah. So I don't know. It's super fun because I've never talked to you about it, and I have so many women experiences from those ages where I'm just like, man, like, it'd be interesting to be a girl coming up to try to find their way, because you ended up totally not like these girls. That's why we're talking to you, right? And that's why I want to like learn this path on what maybe if someone's listening to understand you don't have to compete in order to find your place. And I think that's what your story is on a long time period laid out.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, the World Cup runs back then were like switch fives, switch nines. Like girls definitely weren't winning with doubles. Doubles wasn't even a thought. I think, I don't know the year that Lisa did the first double, but it was
early as like 2012, but then she left the scene, right? So she did the dub in big air, and then she wasn't able to push the slope style element in that. And it was only one girl, right? And then even the one girl that did it realized less physical sacrifices can actually pay you out a lot more money for certain opportunities.
Yeah, just be who you are. But yeah, I like hated competing and was like, there's got to be something else. Yeah.
What do you figure out? So when you first of all, what's the moment you realized you're done? Like after putting so much time and energy, when did you say, hey, even though I've done this every fucking day for a decade, maybe it's time to do something else? And the crazy part is you weren't filming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You weren't doing urban at this time ever?
No, never. Well, I you guys know Trina Siegfried? She was blowing up the internet with her awesome videos, just park edits that she would make. But I was at a do tour in Colorado staying with her, and she took me to my first urban featured. We bungeed with a bunch of people on this like flat rail, no stairs, by the amphitheater. But that was my first urban experience. And then like Brooke Potter, um, kind of was the only girl at that time hitting street, and that's kind of what interested me or like sparked the fire for me. But at that time, I was still competing, and I thought I was gonna to Pyeongchang. I think I got a fourth place at a Mammoth World Cup, like right before they were selecting who was going to come. And I drove back to Utah, stopped in Wendover, was celebrating. I'm like, I'm going to the Olympics. And then I get a text from Skogan saying that they're going to bring someone who's on the team. And I didn't get the coach's discretion spot. So,
Oh,
wow, fuck this. I'm done. Yeah, so that's kind of what made me
that makes sense.
stop.
So you stop. What are you gonna do? Like, it's got to be so crazy to be like celebrate 10-year work of towards something. You're in Wendover, and then you get the worst phone call ever from this guy who tells you, "Yeah, we're going with a guy on our team." And now
Yeah.
you still have 2.5 hours to drive home across the desert. So do you use this time to be like, what's next? Or is this all just fuck skiing? Like, are you totally ready to repurpose yourself right away? Or do you need self-time to think about it?
I was so sad. I was really, really sad. And I think like I don't know. I definitely wasn't saying fuck. I was like fuck competing. There's a different way that I can continue to follow my dreams. Like I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to pay out the ass to go to a contest for it to get canceled. Like there's something else that I could do. And then I went to Mammoth with Emma Dahlstrom, Coco, Jenna Lee Bermanson, and we filmed a edit called Melting Pot. And I think like I just saw that like how much fun that was. I'm with a crew of homies, and we're able to create our own path, get creative, film what we want to film. And I think from there on, I was like, this is my calling. This is what I want to do. I want to film. And ever was really scared about if my sponsors were gonna drop me or not
Were you
support.
paid at that time?
I don't think I was. Maybe a little bit from Line
Okay.
and Smith, but um, yeah, maybe like a tiny bit, $1,000 or something.
So the
But
Mammoth edit, whose idea is that?
Emma Dahlstrom.
And is Emma film and edit stuff already? Or do you have to get to come? Like, how do you organize this as a crew of, like, especially for you not ever doing this before?
Yeah.
Like, are you just showing up and they have a camera and then someone else is like editing and you're like, I like that? Or are you involved at all in that part?
No, her homie from Swiss filming on a GoPro or something.
Okay.
But
And then did you guys know what your plan was when you all got together? Like, hey, let's get together, film something and put it out at a certain time, or?
I think she hit me up and was like, we're gonna spend 2 weeks in Mammoth. This is the crew. Airbnb monsters paid for the Airbnb. Just come out, film, have fun. There was no like expectations or guidelines or anything.
And this is your first ever film trip.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Awesome.
Did you already have your style figured out? Because you just came from like the comp world where it doesn't, everyone, it doesn't really matter how you look on camera at all or how you do tricks as long as you land them. So like, did you come in super robotic to this first video, or did you already kind of have a style figured out?
I don't know. You should watch it.
I'll go
No.
back and look.
No, I mean, style's always been the most important thing to me. Like, never been a spinner to winner. Yeah, I've always just focused on style and I think that's most important to me. So
So
yeah,
if you
check.
focus on style, what is your style? How would you describe it if I was blind?
Oh, I don't know.
That's hard.
Well, I'm blind. You have
That's
to
hard.
describe it to me.
How do you describe a style, especially about yourself?
You can say what you, because obviously it's intentional, right? So what you work on is your style. So you either
Clothes.
know that you're slower, you're smoother, you're more relaxed, if you're baggy, if you're tight. There's lots of ways of describing it.
Yeah, clothes maybe. Feature choice, like trick choice.
So are they
Uh,
bigger tricks? Do you have like certain are you
360 blunt all day.
are you a big jumper?
Never really been a big jumper.
Okay. So like in the last couple of years, like is there anything on jumps if I wanted to find you do jumps?
Yeah, yeah. The melting pot edits. There's
Okay.
point one and point two. I think I did a 9 in one of them in parachute. Switch
And once
back.
again, I'm sorry I came into this purposely ignorant because I just want to ask questions because it excites me, certain things that you do, rather than have an opinion on something I saw.
For sure. Don't be sorry at all. I don't expect anyone to know what I've done, so don't be sorry. But
All right, well, we can teach them here because now you can name all these edits and then we can go
yeah,
watch your
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Yeah, melting pot, there's some tricks. Um, I think I threw a lot of shit on YouTube or not YouTube on Instagram back in the day, would just make little edits so you can find old stuff on there that I've never deleted. But yeah, never really been a big jumper, flipper. I think I did my first backflip a couple years ago. Yeah, I think I've always been a rail person, but
So, what was the name of your mammoth edit?
melting pot.
So, when Melting Pot comes out, what do you think and what is the response? Because there's comment buttons underneath. How does that get received by the public? And what do you think about it watching yourself skiing on a video?
That was like one of the coolest trips of my life. It was cool. And I think Emma's big time, like winning World Cups and sponsored by GoPro and Monster and um Colleen as well. I think it got a lot of views and a lot of I don't ever remember. I don't look into negative comments too much, but I think it was all positive and yeah, we were
You
we
said
were
call.
calling Bali bots.
Yeah, because she is big into the filming, right? Because I believe that same year she made the Girls movie, 2018 or something. I
Skivas.
remember, I remember there was one movie she put out around then because I think
Yeah.
it came out the same year as Salute or something.
Skivas. Yeah, I was a part of that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now you're a film skier and you've made this thing. What do your sponsors think? Are they scared? Are they happy?
I've gotten more support since I left World Cups or competing than I ever have.
So
When
did you get any new sponsors from this first ever edit?
first ever edit. I don't I don't think so.
So when does you made this transformation, you've committed yourself, you've made an edit, you're cruising around. Do people come to you ever? Or are you still writing letters and being like, I'm this film skier, there's not a lot of girls doing this. But like what's your angle and hustle now as a skier?
Um, yeah, definitely hitting people up. Like I was working it. I think the only sponsor that's came to me was Dakine. Um, Actually, I think Line came to me as well after I signed with Dakine. Um, Line came to me because up to that point I was still with K2.
Okay.
But
And so are these people stoked on it? Is everyone coming with money now? More than just gear?
yeah, yeah.
Do you know any other girls that are non-competitive girls at this time that are getting paid?
Not really, I guess, other than the like Michelle Parker, like OG.
Yeah, those don't count. She's on a big mountain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Helicopters.
You're
Her helicopter costs more than you make. Just saying. Different world of investment for those people, you know?
yeah, no, I don't know anyone any
So
other.
big up yourself on that because I want to point that out on a time phase when creating your own path. All of a sudden, you went and quit what you thought was the way, and you do something, and then you do something else, and that way actually pays you, considered to the old way you tried. So I think that's pretty awesome. Especially you're the first.
Appreciate it.
Like you're the first. So that's crazy. What do you got, Ethan? Been pretty quiet for a while.
Yeah, I've just been really enjoying listening to this process. I had no idea you're so deep into the comp scene. So like what when you're making that transition, or well, this is like a better comparison. So what are sponsors expecting from you when you're a comp skier? I suspect it's wins. And what are they expecting from you when you're a film skier? Like how do the expectations change when you make this transition? Because it seems like it's much more enjoyable being a street skier because that's like it's a lot more open ended. You could do whatever you want with it. So I'm kind of interested what those discussions were like and what they're wanting from you at that point.
I think they were more so just like, okay, what are your plans? What film projects are you going to be a part of? And at that point, I was really good friends with Gavin, and Gavin did the Strictly stuff, and I went on a couple trips with them. And they just wanted to make sure, sponsors just wanted to make sure that I had projects lined up or an idea of what I wanted to do. And yeah, at that point, I was super into getting started with Strictly and just like spending time at Hood. I worked at Hood for a year and then became like a pro rider up there. So just like they wanted to make sure that I was staying relevant, and I was so into that. Like all I wanted to do was hang out at Hood and film and ski every day, all day.
Yeah, because I
So
feel like
say
for some comp riders, it could be nerve wracking because it's like competition's like being in school. You know, you get first place, you get an A, perfect. Everything's easy and spelled out for you. You know exactly what you need to do to succeed. But stepping away from that, you're in a completely different world where it's kind of all on you because like you just said, your sponsors weren't saying, "Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that." They're saying, "Well, what do you want to do? What are your plans?" Like it's all at that point, it's all on you to make your own success, which not everyone's built for that. Some people just want a roadmap laid out for them and just hit a couple good checkpoints and then that's it, and they're getting paid. But now you're in a completely different realm where you got to make your own. You kill you eat what you kill pretty much when you're a film skier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was just surrounded by the right people too. Like, um, I didn't have mentors like guiding me down this road. I just was around my good friends that wanted to make cool shit too. And, um, it, it's crazy. Like it all just fell into place, and so glad it happened the way that it did. Um, because yeah, I didn't feel the support or the love for the sport when I was competing. And as soon as I left, I was like, fuck, this is why I love it. Like this is the best thing ever. I get to choose my path, and these sponsors are believing in me, and I'm gonna fucking make it because it's been taken away from me before. And this is my dream, so I'm gonna make it happen.
So I've seen you pretty much like level up every year since you quit comp skiing. And like every year it's more and more and more. Did you ever have like something that was a big thing where people all of a sudden started calling you? Like, did you ever do one big thing, one big trick, one big segment? Or has it always just been a continuous process of growing? and getting new allies and sponsors, partners that work with you? Or
Yeah.
did you have something all come at once?
Like, as you're talking sponsors?
Yeah, I'm wondering because if you win an X, and I was making six figures the next year. Like, did you ever have a moment, or has it always just been continuous growth for yourself?
Just continuous growth.
Okay.
Never had, I mean, Decline was Decline was huge. I was so stoked on that because at that point, I think I was sponsored by Planks for a while and they were paying me and I got to go to Europe and like hang out with the Planks people and that was a dream. And then I think I hit them up and then Decline, I'm working as a coach at Windell's and Decline is like hitting me up and I was like, wow, that's cool. But
Why do you think they hit you up? What did you do that made them call you?
um I think that was after Melting Pot, honestly.
Okay.
And maybe filming a little bit with Strictly for Welcome. I had two or three shots in their movie and um maybe after that and just like showing up to camp and making myself showing face to things, going to ski premieres and just like being heavily involved.
Yeah. No, I mean, if anyone shows up to camp all summer, like if I was like in a position, just like if you're relevant, right? Do you know how
Yeah.
many kids, like if you're at a Woodward or a Copper or Windell's all summer, how many kids go back and like you and then want to maybe get something that the person they liked had? So I don't know. It's like you've seen like Saga got created because of Windell's. Like if Windell's didn't exist, Saga would have never been a company because homie just put a sticker on every camper's helmet every day before he was a company. And
Yeah.
then every kid went to every part of the globe with a Saga sticker on their helmet. And then they were relevant. So it's the same with being a skier. If you're relevant, those kids all love you because you love skiing and you teach them stuff.
It's such a cheat code for becoming like having a cult following as a pro skier is just being a coach. Because those kids are like they're rooting for your success at that point because now they know you. So they're like, "That's my coach. Oh my god, my coach is in this video. My coach is doing this." And then they're your fan for 10 years, and all of a sudden they're grown up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess I was a huge fan of Taylor growing up because I followed everything she did after I met her."
Yeah, it's
I
the
mean, I
next
was that way with
gen,
all my
too.
coaches. It's like it's sick. It's like the sickest thing ever.
For sure. And that's what I saw as a kid. I was never able to go to Windows, but I would see all of these pros like coaching the kids. And I was like, I want to do that. That sounds really cool. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Wait.
So I'm seeing some early hints of where things lead. So you're friends with Gavin at this point. You're working together. When does the Real Ski invite come in? And kind of what do you even know like the behind the scenes of what led to that? Because that was kind of they didn't even make a women's category. They just threw you in with everybody else. So it was really kind of it was like an out of left field invite.
Totally. Yeah, I think it just came from Strictly. There wasn't at that time girls hitting street. I had some clips in the first movie and a whole part in I'm forgetting the names. Most Gutter I had a little bit and then yeah. Anyway, Strictly movies.
How does it work? Does Chris Schuster just send you an email and then you're like, hey, would you like to be the single woman? And then
Yeah, he's
that's
like,
it.
you're invited, you're competing against, or the other people doing it is Tanner Hall and Alex Hall and like, all right, whatever. It's a great opportunity. They're giving.
What's your thought, right? Like, because it's flattering, but at the same time, you're not competing against your like. I'm not trying to say you're not equal, But I'd like to experience. It's like when Sarah had to run a big air at the U.S. Open, and she's the
Right.
only girl.
Yeah.
It was like, what's really the point? We get it. Maybe your motivation for girls in the future, but it's like you're a sideshow.
Right. I would
Um,
love to know the point. But yeah, I definitely was grateful for the opportunity, but was like, what the fuck is going on? Why don't they just have a girls category? And I guess at that time, like there wasn't girls hitting street. So
Yeah.
maybe that was my thought process. Um, but yeah, I definitely had a big chat with them afterwards and was like, this is not fair. Definitely, yeah, feel like a sideshow, like you said. And thanks for the opportunity, but maybe next time, like, think about having a girls category, especially you were able to do street and PAL, like, and park, I think. Like,
That was everything.
there
Yeah,
was,
they could have
there
found they
was,
could have found 5 other girls. Yeah,
True, it
found
wasn't only
500
urban when you
girls.
did it.
It wasn't only urban, yeah. So that is even what,
Their comment wasn't justified then. I'd
right.
understand it if it was urban, but it was the only year. It wasn't only backcountry or it wasn't only urban. You're
Yeah.
the only year it was everything.
Yeah, bullshit.
when you and Gavin were making it, because I mean you're going up against Alex Hall. Like Alex was doing, and his video was insane that year. Like so, you guys probably went into it knowing like, okay, we're about to get worked by this field of guys. Like, so did you just go in with it like the mindset like, okay, this is for fun, this is a cool opportunity. We're not going to stress about any of the votes, whether from judges or fan vote. Like, did you guys go in with that mindset just to make it enjoyable, or did you want to compete at least for like the fan vote or something?
I mean, no, I don't think I mean, it's for me, and I think I can't speak for Gavin, but I feel like it's not about winning. It's just about the experience and having fun. Like, we had such a great time filming for that, and Gavin was all in. Like, he moved into my house and we just waited for snow in Utah, and there was no snow here. So we just kind of traveled around, but it wasn't about winning. Like, I don't, I mean, I'm sure we talked about like we're going up against Tanner Hall, like, and Mango and A Hall. Like, this is crazy, but yeah, it wasn't about winning for us.
Yeah, they put you in
And
a
I don't
really.
think I had a fucking chance. So
Yeah, I had never really thought about how weird of a situation they put you in until we were talking about it now. Especially with it being like somebody could have just done, like a girl could have just done a really dope POW segment given the opportunity. I never realized just how crazy that year was.
yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking. That might have been, was that the last year that they did it too?
Yeah, I made a huge scene about it. Posted something on Instagram and it like blew up. Um, I called Chris and questioned him, and yeah. So maybe that's why they just stopped, or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting because now we're starting to get into the conversation of like the women's and men's events and mixing them together. What works, what doesn't. Were there any other events or contests that you got invited to at that time that similar, different, better experiences? Because I'm just trying to figure out what your mindset was leading up to you creating your own event, because that's you making an answer for all this stuff. So, like, what other things were you involved with at that time?
Kimbo Sessions, went to that one year. Bunch of guys, a couple girls. I mean, what other ones? I feel like Do Tour did pretty good about inviting a bunch of girls. But yeah, I have been thinking about doing this contest for a long time, doing a contest for a long time. I think right before COVID, I approached Brighton and kind of talked to them about it. And then time flew by, and it's always been in the back of my head, but I never knew how to really get it started or where to go with making an event. So yeah.
So if this process started before COVID, we got a little ground to cover. But Iberg, you gave a good insight before about Sarah getting like a sideshow run in a contest. Like what have you seen throughout your career with how they've managed women's events and women's involvement? Because like going through the free stuff, it's like, you know, there's Sarah and Christy, but it seems like it's
Even
always
Marie. She explained it to you really well. How there's no other girls, right?
Yeah, there wasn't that many.
I think Taylor explained it perfectly. There wasn't enough girls doing it at the time, so they threw her a bone thinking she should be thankful. Where when you throw someone a bone, no one has to be grateful for anything, because Taylor could go do what we did with the B-Dog online event last year and had 83 fucking videos of 90 seconds of urban, and she could do it with girls and make a better girls urban 90-second contest this fall the next games could ever do. So it's I think with women, like the whole thing is never expect anyone to do shit for you, you know, because it's like you have so much more power than us already. And it's just a matter of you go do it yourself, people will follow. Like, how crazy is it? Anna Demacier had to be the creator of Queen's Cup. She wasn't Sarah, Christy, or Marie. It was our local weed dealer in Park City that actually organized all the best girls in the world to come together. So the problem always with women's twin tip skiing is 99% of women that do it complain about not getting opportunity, and very little actually go create the opportunity like Taylor is doing right now, because people will show up if you create it. Like, why the fuck do you even want Chris Schuster to like you or the X Games identity? I don't know. I mean, it's cool and all, but so I guess it's always been the same. It's just like, oh, here it is, you know, okay, is there enough girls now to fill the time slot of television? They've never cared, you know, so it's just a matter of you guys taking your art of what you do on skis and then just be like, fuck it, we're creating our own art gallery over here. We have contests and movies and whatever. And you know what? People like looking at girls a lot more than guys. And it's true. And I'm just saying, like, you have so much power. It's crazy. So that's why I think it's cool you do what you do too, because we can go through all the problems that the girls didn't get for opportunities, but it's always a man creating that opportunity that's not good enough. So until it's a woman that doesn't create, like, why don't we blame the girl who won the 2014 Olympics for never doing an event? We don't even know her name because she never did anything for women's skiing.
Yeah, no, totally.
So that's my point. I just always had a problem with anyone who complains, and I think you're awesome because I've never heard you say there's not an opportunity for you. Never read it anywhere, never heard it on any podcast. So, but most of your people that you ski with, they got plenty of air in their lungs to talk about the lack of opportunities.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You definitely you can talk about it, but just got to step up and do something. So
why do you think you killed it so hard? I mean, you got a North Face on. Like, this is before your event, and I'm so interested from your perspective in the last 3 years.
We haven't even talked about pro models yet.
Yeah, we haven't even but why is it, do you think you stuck out to people? Why do people want to support you?
I don't know. I just did it. I know what I want, and I go after what I want. And yeah, I'm not one to have someone do it for me or tell me how to do it or tell me what to do. I want what I want.
Do you have an agent?
What I want. I don't have an agent.
Awesome.
Never have until maybe 2 years ago. I was like, maybe I'll try try out an agent, and it was the worst thing I've ever done, but also the best because I learned that
Yeah.
I like what I want and I like having personal connections with sponsors, and that's really important to me. And yeah, I'm not into that like triangular communication or people taking from me and not giving anything back.
No, the agent and skiing is the stupidest thing I think in the world because it's just like, how easy is it to drop an athlete if you never talk to them?
Right.
It's not that easy to drop your friend that you talk to about building a plan. And then you're like, oh man, let's do this next year. Let's do that next year. And then your friend, your skier calls you up and like, oh, I blew my knee. You don't want to drop that person. But if you never talk to them and the agent's like, oh, my athlete blew his knee this year. And they're like, ooh, I got to cut budgets. Doesn't sound like they'll be performing this year. So I think it's a very important thing when you say like, because if I was to look, I could make up not having a clue what you make, but I'm guessing you're probably a top person in the sport of women's freestyle twin tip skiing, from the sponsors that you have. So if you got all that, and I guarantee you the other top 5 all have agents. Now we can't count Goo because she don't count, but the rest of the girls, like, yeah, I bet you're pretty up there. I bet you're a top 3, making shit up in my head, just looking at who people's sponsors are and stuff. And so, I mean, like those other people, I guarantee you all have agents.
Yeah.
And and also when when they don't win, their life will be different. You're winning when you wake up because you're creating.
Yeah, I think of top 3 and they all definitely have agents. But
I think it's crazy if we don't have Goo in the scenario, how close you probably are financially to them. Right? Like as far as what skiing is providing for you. And I think that's amazing too. Because if we look at what those other girls have to do and have to win and how they will be disposable once they don't win, they really aren't creating. And that's why I started the beginning of this conversation. I'm like, you're a new head because realistically, you can easily be doing this shit when you're 45. There's no reason I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah, I hope
unless
so.
you don't see it.
No, I hope so.
We'll ask my question I ask everyone now. How many concussions have you had?
Ooh, I don't know. Cracked my head open a couple times at the skate park as a kid. I got one of my biggest concussions last year on the fucking airbag. Probably like 5, 6.
Okay.
That I know.
You're on the low end of the spectrum of pro skiers. That's
and
good.
I don't wear a helmet, so.
Oh man, you're proving those people wrong. People wearing helmets all comfortable, like, and just hitting their heads.
That's not what I mean. No.
No, we've just been like, this is something that Iberg and I have been talking about recently on the show, just because, I mean, we never really talked about it with season 1. And I'm sure, like, I mean, it'd be interesting if we asked Mosley how many he has, like, people that have been skiing for that long. But it is an element of the sport that should be talked about. Like, you guys are banging your heads, and sometimes for not a lot of money, so it is an interesting element in everything.
And it was to tell you too, Taylor, like, it was fun because we talked to Marie Martineau, and she came back because Sarah died. And then we talked to Chug Life, Ian Costco, and he quit because Sarah hit her head. And it was just interesting too for people's perspective, because both those, Marie's at like 30 concussions. Chug Life was at a unknown number going into his situation. So I'm just always interested how hard people push it for what they do and why they do. So that's kind of why I bring it up too.
Yeah,
Give thanks.
Yes, definitely.
Keep rocking.
Definitely.
So, apart from concussions and hitting your head, so no agent, so that means on your own that you negotiated or at least ended up getting in the scenario where you can get a pro model ski and boot with no agent. How do those conversations work, and who brought it to the table?
Honestly, I did. I remember seeing like Ashley's vocal skis with her face on it. And I don't know. I think I just want to create opportunity for the younger generation. And I think that someone needed to step up, or these men in charge of all these women skiers would never, that opportunity would never come by. So
how do
I
you do it? Well, so Marie did the same. She had to go to Dean Star and tell him, I want a pro model. I deserve one. Kids need one. Girls need one. How do you do it 20 years later after Marie gets the first one for girls? How do you go about going to give me a pro model? I deserve one.
I think it was Line at first. And like started me off with, okay, well, you can. Okay, so my friend Tim, I really wanted to do the art on a ski. Maybe a pro model wasn't really a thought, or maybe wasn't even something that they wanted to give me. So my friend Tim did the art for the ski that I was skiing on. And then from there, I was like, I think I should approach them about a pro model ski, put my name on this, we'll design the art. And I think it just came about that way. And then I was like, oh, there's not a boot, and there's never been a boot for a woman. Let's approach full tilt at that time, or that was like right during the switch. And yeah,
Are you the first ever woman with her name on a ski boot?
I think so, yeah.
Like even Alpine Racing?
I'm not sure about that.
I think so. Like it's fucked up. Like if you even go to Susie Chapstick days, do you know Susie Sheriff?
No, that's a sick name though.
So she was the face of Chapstick in the 70s. She was an alpine racer, went to the Olympics. Then she started freestyle skiing, was a ski dancer because she didn't like the ballet element, but had pro model heart skis. And so she was Chapstick commercial girl, famous in Hollywood, but was a freestyle skier in the 70s. So I don't think even this girl, who is the biggest girl ever in the history of freestyle skiing, even had a pro model boot. So that's nuts. Skiing's been around for like 130 years as far as selling products, and no other woman's had her name on boots. Think about it.
Crazy.
Dope. Just want to make sure you absorb that for a second.
That's baller.
Hard to absorb, but
What was that? So my biggest thing. So honey bat. So what? How long have you had your pro model?
this one behind you, the one behind you is year 2.
You need to tell them to eliminate the honey badger. I think they sell it for $10 less or something. And then that's your biggest competition. So if I go into every ski shop in the world, they are sold out of honey badgers because it's the same ski and cheaper. So if they eliminate the honey badger and just make the Taylor Brooke Lundquist, you're in the golden. Other than that, they're going to eliminate you the way they eliminated K2 with Pep when they gave him the silencer. And then it was over with the fugitive.
I think I can share this news because I skied on it this year. I think I can, but
if not, your show doesn't come out till October. Just tell them to erase it.
the honey badger no longer has my name on it. It's another ski.
So you have a different flex, different shape.
Yeah, it's the blend. My name is now on the blend.
Sick.
Okay.
And they also have they were selling a Will Wesson like early release the beginning of this year, a Will Wesson blend, and then they have an in-house blend as well.
Well, good luck with it. It's all fun to watch because I love watching just the moves of the company. And then I always wonder, I'm like, how are they going to make that? Because even the boots, Like when you watch all you guys' pro model boots, like say like the B&E boot, it's just the exact same as another Flex with a different graphic, but fucking $100 more.
Right.
Sweet. If I'm a kid, even if my favorite skier is not worth $100 more. So
Yeah.
it's fun to watch that concept behind pro models when they're not unique products and they're just refurbished, more expensive products. K2 and Line have this shit locked down.
Hope so.
I can say this stuff. It's fun. Just fun to observe because I think if you guys had individual, you're stoked because the blend is marketed towards a man. So at least if your graphic is on it, then you're not competing versus the Honey Badger. But it's not so awesome for like a Will Weston if there's another blend out there. You know what I mean?
Totally. No, I fully agree. I mean, it's for the Will Wesson fans, it's for the TBL fans, and then if fan, you've also got another one.
Yeah, but if you're a fan of both you guys, the other choice is always cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm just talking from a poor person's perspective.
it's so
You
interesting.
know, there's some of us in skiing.
Then
For
you get the sales rep nudging mom and dad. They're like, "Hey, mom and dad, even though the top sheet looks different, this ski's exactly the same, but it's cheaper. You should just get this." And they're like, "All right, sorry, Timmy, you're not getting this top sheet. You're getting the
Yeah.
ski."
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that is tricky setup, but it's still cool to have a pro model ski.
Yeah,
Yep. Super
I'm
dope.
super hyped on it. That one behind you was my first twin tip. Well, my mom got me a pair of Nordica Beasts or something, and I was like, "Mom, I wanted the Invaders with the pink skull and the checkered base." And
Because
she
Ashley was a line skier even before she was on line, right? Right before vocal.
Fine celebrities, I think she would rock.
Okay.
Yeah. So that ski is inspired by my first line Invader.
And was Ashley's ski really a pro model? Did it have her? What's that?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't think so either. Because I did the research on it all last year, and I'm like, I can't put it in the pro model category. I want to, but it just wasn't called her pro model. So nice. I got to ask someone finally.
Yeah, she was pretty, so let's put her face on it. She is pretty. Let's put her face on it.
Wait, her face was on it, and it wasn't. I've never even seen this. It wasn't her pro model, but her face was on it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude, Sean Pettit had the K2 Juvie in 2005 had Pettit's name on it, the junior ski,
Yeah.
and it wasn't his pro model. They didn't even tell him. He was 13. He was 12 years fucking old, and they put his name on a ski without saying, and just being like, "Are you stoked?" Of
Yeah.
course you're stoked. Give him his money. Crazy.
Yeah, that is tough. We've never had a kid on the show. Like we've never had like a Walker Shreds or
Well, there's no kids have been superstars at the level like Sean's and
Walker's pretty lit, but it's a whole different realm. Like we're talking about the difficulty with women skiing, but like with a kid, you got no say over your direction.
Have you seen Sean Pettit ski at age 15 or Shauna or Kai Peterson? And have you seen
I got a great Kai Peterson ad coming out for you tomorrow, but no, I haven't seen any of their old skis.
They're not close, man. They're not close.
Yeah.
Sean Pettit was doing 360s on 180-foot cliffs, stomping when he was 2 feet tall.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So, okay, so I might have missed this. So you talked to Line about wanting to design the top sheets. I think this is some good insight for the girls listening, especially. So, who were you talking to like design top sheets, and who were you talking to actually get the pro model done, like within Line? Are you talking to the marketing? Are you talking to product development? Like, who's your go-to person to get something like this done?
I'm talking to team manager to get it done, and then for design, yeah, just like I think for the first year, I just kind of told Connor that I wanted to design a ski, and then kind of got Connor in contact with my friend Tim, who was the artist that I wanted to support, got him some money for that. And then for the next year, I talked to a artist that they like contracted in, I think. Just kind of gave him some of my like tattoo inspirations, and he put the ski together. And I've been I've been more involved for this one. I completely drew behind Iberg. I drew everything. And I've for the next year I was more involved in just talk to the in-house graphic designer.
What's the compensation like for having a pro model? Do they cut you in on sales? Do they just cut you a check up front? Is there no money? Like, how does this work?
I get like $2 to $5 for every pair sold.
Sick.
And just so you know, as a non-agent skier, it's great to say these numbers out there because I can tell you, like if guys are talking, maybe they're at like $10 or $15. And what I always believe, since there's no association for athletes or players association, it's good to have these conversations because then the next girl that hears what you said, 2 to 5, she can actually think maybe $5 is okay. Because the problem is when all these sponsors tell you not to talk about what you get paid, it's because they don't want others to know you're fucking them over.
Totally.
Everyone should know what you guys make. Every pro athlete I knew growing up, I'd read the magazine. I knew what they signed for. I knew what their Nike deal was. I knew what their contract was for their team. And skiing is like a place where they just take advantage and tell you not to talk about your salary.
I completely agree with you.
I wish everyone would tell us their salaries.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of not even between men and women, like men and women for sure in this sport aren't getting paid. Women are not getting paid equally, but there's also a lot of younger guys that are fucking sick and really rad people that are getting paid shit, and someone else that's maybe not as rad and just not relevant anymore that are getting paid an insane amount of money.
But it'd be good, right? Because then at least if you knew the truth and you saw this person that you thought shouldn't be getting paid,
good.
You maybe know why. Oh man, maybe I have to make it 15 more years. Oh, maybe I have to be not focus on being a qualification skier in contest. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people everyone's dope. So that's like the whole point of this podcast is like, dude, like everyone's awesome, but like you really gotta be special. Like, I mean, like you're not special to do a triple. You're not special to win things, because even when you win, it's just 5 other people saying you're better than everyone else that can't even do what you do. So it's not that cool to win. You know what I mean? Like winning is actually having people talk about you, having people hate you, because then they actually want to have an opinion about you and talk about you. So I don't know, that's how I kind of view it. Like I always make sure in skiing, like as long as people love you or hate you, you're good for tomorrow. But once people don't have an opinion about you, you have no fucking purpose in our sport. Yeah. So that's my basic advice to anyone listening that's coming up. Make people have an opinion. But at the same time, make sure that opinion is on what you love in the sport of skiing. And if you alter it and you're like, want it to be about your character or whatever, well, then you're an influencer, not really a skier. So
here's an indirect money related question just to give people a sense of it. Do you have to work other jobs, or does skiing pay all your bills and let you ski full time?
Skiing pays all of my bills, but I work hard and I like working. I just got a new job, a serving job. I really like serving. Just an extra hustle, something to do.
The serving's some good quick money. If you just want some cash in your pocket and do whatever you want with, serving ain't a bad gig.
Okay, do you make 6 figures off skiing?
Hell no.
Okay, see, I would make up with the North Face logo. I would make up with Decline. I'd make up in my head that you were close to a 6-figure person and the highest paid girl other than Elan Gu. That's what I'm making up. Do you need to work your serving job?
I mean, no, I'm not.
There could always be more money.
No, but I'm just thinking on an adult lifestyle, right? You're 30-some years old. You have a house, you have insurances. Like life costs money. So I'm really curious, because you ski around and do things that are crazy. and tomorrow could not be the same as today because of the sport and job that you have. So I'm just curious if it's really absolutely necessary you have another source of income, or if skiing can really take care of you. Like, take care of you. So you want to push it and be better tomorrow on skis. Because to be better tomorrow on skis takes a little commitment and knowledge that something might be set back in life. You know what I mean? So I'm curious where it's at for skiing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not scraping by, but they can never be enough. And I've always looked out for my future. I mean, I bought a house when I was 20, and I know that skiing's not gonna last forever. I've been thinking about going to school for graphic design. Like, I just, I'm always thinking ahead. I want to do this for as long as I can. Um, but I also want to do other things. There's other things that make me happy. Um, and yeah, so
Have you ever thought about starting a brand in women's skiing? Clothing,
I've thought about
eyewear?
it, but I'm not interested.
No?
No,
What makes you not interested as someone who is such a big leader?
I've just seen a lot of brands like come and go in our sport.
For
And
women in skiing, by
yeah,
women.
not enough. There's just not
Like,
enough.
can you even name any? Do you have one women's brand in twin tip skiing that was started by a woman that came and left?
No?
Okay, so you don't have any proof that they come and go because no one's ever done it.
Yeah, but I believe that like I like to wear men's ski clothes. Like, I like to ski the blend that was marketed for the blend. I talked to Lion about, like, listen, why do we have women's skis? Like, let's just I don't believe in that. So
I
um
agree with you, but
yeah,
it was more of the idea where you said companies run by men
yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
And so obviously there's this opinion created and run by men. And so it's just, I always look at it. Once again, it's about not complaining about something. It's just doing something, right?
totally,
Because there
totally.
hasn't been it. And
Yeah,
so I'm always interested. And over my whole career in life, like, I've always poked my girlfriends in skiing. I'm like, fucking do it.
yeah,
Like, here, like, there's this kid in New York that makes baggy pants. He makes 90,000 a year, and you've never heard of him or his company.
yeah,
You imagine if you made clothes that were just for people that liked you.
yeah,
Like, I don't know, it's just so fun because I've seen in the last 5 years so many people start baggy pant clothes companies, hat companies, or whatever, yet none of them are women.
totally.
And
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say men and women are different, but I'm saying at the same time it's inspirational for when you see someone that's like you doing something,
for sure.
and just like the event that you run.
I'm with you. I've always wondered, like my whole life, like, these people that I look up to, Ashley, Kaya, I mean, there's things that happen, injuries, things like that. But why aren't I'm not pointing at those people specifically.
We can
Why
point at every girl in the history of our sport. Go ahead.
why are people so there and so in front of, like, this sport, and then just disappear? Not once have I heard of an ex female athlete becoming a team manager, getting into these brands that their life was around, and making the change that they've always wanted to see. And not that, I mean, I would become a team manager if that means I can make a change for the next generation. And not once has, oh, it makes me, like, emotional. Not once
Me
has,
too. Angry, but I've already had this with all my friends personally, so I don't give a fuck. Step your game up, girls.
yeah,
Straight
why?
up.
Yeah,
Carrie Traw is the only girl who started a fucking clothing company from Norway, and she is murdering it. And she was a mogul skier who wore a GS tight suit in the moguls, the stupidest shit I ever seen. But because she was passionate, she's killing it. Carrie Traw, check her out. But she came from moguls, and so I always looked at you guys where I'm just like, man, you can do anything you want. Like, you guys have so much more power than us. It's crazy. You can convince your power of persuasion as a woman Like it's nuts. And then everyone want to jump on your bandwagon when you try to do something because everyone's so proud of you. Man, ain't no one going to jump on my bandwagon if I do something because they're proud of me. They're stoked if I fail.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer. I'd love to see it, but you're totally right. We can go through every single girl. And it goes back once again. Anna Demacier was the only girl to create the dopest event other than your event in the last 25 years.
Yeah. Seriously. And Eileen Gu, where you at?
Word up. Let's
Word
call her
up. She's got so much money.
The wealthiest sportswoman in the world. Over Serena Williams, over everyone. And she wouldn't even make this money if she wasn't a skier because she wouldn't be a model and she wouldn't be a super smart person getting paid this money. She's a model because she's an athlete. And then she's only cool for being smart because she's an athlete. So just so you know, skiing is what opened those doors and nothing is coming back to skiing. I'm done.
Spread that love to your fellow peers and your generation. Spread it because skiing needs it, and especially women in skiing.
Yeah. No, I think what you guys are doing is so fun. Like even when you watch women snowboarding this year, I bring it up a bunch at X Games. It was so fun to watch women snowboarding in big air than snowboarding men's or ski because there's no style anymore for us in competitive skiing. Women can ride style for the next decade. Yeah. And they and look ill. Mm-hmm. Because they're not trying to do something that's just nuts.
Aerials. So. Yeah. I'm with you 100%.
What you got, Ethan?
I love all this. Also, I want to give a shout out. It's so funny. The amount of times you and I have talked about a women's clothing brand. My friend Annabelle, she's running a women's. It's actually not for women, but it's a clothing brand right now. She's running Street 22, and her kind of the way she's positioned herself in the market is it's all extreme sports. So she's got skiers, snowboarders. I don't know if she has any moto, but she's got the skate park locked down and the ski resort locked down, men and women. So Annabelle's giving it a shot. That's literally one of the only women's owned and run brands I know in the sport. So big shout out to Annabelle.
And what's her brand name? So spread that.
Street 22. Okay. Yeah, she's dope. She's really dope. But I'm so glad we brought up Eileen Gu. She's stupid rich, hanging out with Elon Musk,
the wealthiest woman athlete in the world.
Yeah, it's insane. It's so insane. So
how did one? Oh yeah, I don't even want to get into this.
But I'll say this: her story isn't done yet. She is still super young. It's not like a lot of the old guard, which has made their bag and then disappeared forever. There's still a chance there. So I'm not going to fully write her off yet, but she got a lot of money to work with right now. It's obviously not my money. It's not my place to tell her what to do with her money, but she's got the opportunity to help out a lot right now.
Totally. Bringing her up, I'm not hating. I respect her so much and what she's done. But yeah, just a woman in the ski industry, give back.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of superstars, but the thing is, it always seems to go back to telling the story about how special they are. Because it's even though if we go through every one that I'm a super fan of, it's even Kelly's the illest girl, but it's once again, even where she's at in life, it's let me hear about her story, and so every single one of these girls, and I'm going to call them out. I have no problem because I love you all. I'd love to talk to you. I love watching you, and I know your whole careers, and that's why I can say what I say, but it's crazy. It's the most selfish lifestyle when they get older, because I've known so many guys that it's all about helping the next generation. If you watch Tanner, who brings the little kids like Sean and Kai and all this.
Well, where's the lady, Phil Bellinger? Where's the women's equivalent of that?
Or even Phil Henrik, right? Even what Henrik does for all those little guys. And we look at all our generations of twin tippers, it's all about bringing people up always, whether it's in your film crew, whether that's in your competition crew, whether it's in your company. And so it's a very, very, very important thing because people need someone that they can see that's their idol, but you're oh, that could be me too. and that person loves me and wants me to win. And then all of a sudden you win because the best person in the world wants you to win.
Do you guys think it has anything to do with how our industry has created the golden girl and how there's only been a couple opportunities for that one person
Yes.
in a scheme
Here's the
of
deal. In
in a
the early
contest?
phases of action sports, Taylor, like I'd sit down in meetings with Oakley, Hurley, Billabong, everyone. And everyone would say it's 90% looks, 10% ability. That's why we sign women. As that was it, because there's no results in action sports. So every single action sport sponsored woman from the late 90s until at least 2010s was 90%, 10%, 90% looks, 10% ability. Now it started to get really stupid when the men started to get judged on their looks, because this came in a little bit in the 2000s, 10s. And it was like, wow, that has a value. Why are we trying to act like this? Like, we don't put makeup on them. But yes, long story short, Taylor, action sports for women was created off looks, not ability. That's how 100% of it was paid out.
Yeah.
And then when finally there was a level of competition, whether that was multiple women that could do street or enough girls to compete in a World Cup, then all of a sudden new opportunities came. But that's why it was 100%. And I deal with Christy Leskinen telling Greta Eliasson not to ski so hard because if you got injured, you can't do a lifestyle shoot. When Greta was 15, 16 years old. So the old girls would even tell, not Sarah, but the old girls would tell the young girls not to get injured because then you can lose your contracts.
Yeah.
Injured, you can't go on the lifestyle shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Smile, look hot.
I just wanted to bring that up for anyone, any young.
Michelle Parker, the interview you did with Freeskier, do you know what her first publicized photo was?
Probably in a bathing suit.
In a bikini at age 17, full page spread in Freeskier in the Women of Freeskiing article. That was hers. So imagine even then, same like everyone had to get naked to even introduce themselves to our sport. And that was an underage girl. So yes, 100%. You're right. The way we got to where we are, but now we're at a place where I believe it can be equal because you do have the power to say that's stupid, or we, and I'm a woman and people are going to me more than you because you're a man. So now, and you can on stuff like this, on your social media, you can call anyone out you want. That team manager is fucking the only girl on the team. You could call him out. All the shit that's always happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's just fun. People have been afraid to say something, and that's not.
There's no consequence. You know what I mean? Like, even if you call everyone out, like my worst consequence is I have people that don't like me because I spoke the truth.
Yeah.
I go to sleep at night if someone doesn't like me because I said the truth about them.
For sure. I'm with you.
I got another perspective on it too. Like I grew up, I'm 27 now. I grew up, like, I'd say my peak ski years were like 2013 through 2012 through 15. And so women skiing at that point was, I knew guys at my hill that were doing the tricks that were winning women's big air, you know? Like, I had plenty of friends that could do, I mean, like, they could do an upright 9 switching forward. Natural
slope style was even worse.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that women's skiing has really taken a turn even in my lifetime, because now it's like, okay, the girls that are on top are undeniably badass skiers. So it's not like oh, we're doing it, we're giving them an opportunity because they're a woman. Now it's like, okay, their ability is undeniable. It's unusual even in the men's world. Like, there's a random guy at Killington isn't going to be better than the top women right now. So I think it's turned in that way because it's like, okay, they're legit competitors now. And so we're not just throwing them a bone. Now it's like, okay, now we're really talking. At least that's how I see it. Like, it's like,
well, they have a style too. Look at Mathilde, right?
Yeah, well, you just can't have like, teenage guys talking
like
shit anymore.
What's that?
I was saying, sorry, one second, I got a truck driving by right now. I was saying now it's, before you could have teenage guys at any mountain talking shit, being like, women are joke, X, Y, and Z. Now it's undeniable. Now it's like, okay, I got nothing on on these pro skiers now. So I think that has definitely been a culture shift for sure. It's where like the idiots of the ski world, the teenage boys, don't have a leg to stand on anymore because the women are dope, or doper than they've ever been, and it's just only going up from here. So that's kind of my perspective on how I've seen women skiing change in my lifetime.
For sure. People are always going to talk, though.
Yeah, I mean, they'll still talk, but
I don't think it matters anymore because everyone, you can control your own destiny.
Exactly.
You know, if someone talks shit on you today, you just like can turn around. Like you could start your own ski company tomorrow if your ski company dropped you.
Yeah.
So it's like now whenever someone talks, it's like it's always good because if they're talking about you, that means you're relevant, right? And that goes to what your sponsors wanted you to be relevant. So it's like the whole goal is for people to talk. And then for you in your head just to be positive and go forward movement every day because you're like, all right, just keep talking because I'm working really hard. And so that's what my advice is to anyone who's listening is like, don't ever get discouraged if someone says the worst thing about you in the whole world, because if you're trying every day and you're doing something positive, keep doing it because be motivated by the people that say you can't, you shouldn't, or it's stupid that you do it. And I don't know, because that's why you're doing something for the first time in 20 years for women, because maybe people thought, oh, I can't do that or whatever. Someone said it was stupid. I don't know. But other people's opinions are a waste of energy.
I agree.
Good topic. This is a great topic. This is something else I want to say too. So Taylor, you might not know, I've worked in sports media since I was like 19, and like a chunk of that was spent in Connecticut working the Connecticut Sun, the WNBA team. And I've heard a lot of talk about the WNBA in my time. A lot of people complaining, saying, see, they need this opportunity, they need that opportunity, they need this money, they need that money.
You know what they need? They need 9-foot rims. And then I would watch fucking slam contests.
Yes. But apart from that,
everyone's got an opinion.
Apart from whatever the WNBA needs to succeed, what they need is people to actually watch and support it. And that's what I've seen time and time again with women's sports. And that's from a guy's perspective. So I'm sure you've seen it even more. Like, people always talk a huge game with supporting women. And then, for example, we go to I share anything on the Two Planker feed. I share a women's interview from X Games. I share a women's interview from Dew Tour. I share a women's podcast. We ask for viewer questions. What do we get? Crickets. Less views, less comments, less shares. So it's like, okay, you guys want to, everyone has an opinion about what women need. And then when women actually get the opportunity, it's like, where are you guys at?
Not one of your fellow women that are pro skiers that make the kind of money you did share that you're on a podcast. Just saying. If I was to look at it, all of my friends that were on this podcast or whatever, it's not a podcast. It's like we're just stoked on skiing. But at the same time, everyone's like, oh man, let's go ask this person a question. Like, you the illest. How does not, the only thing these girls do is post like, oh, you're so good under your thing. They don't ever share you. Your competitors and your equals just have false jealousy all the time.
Look at me, not them. I'm commenting here so maybe other people that follow this person can see me. It's not, I agree. There's, I don't know. Instagram's a crazy thing. I don't know if it's doing our sport any good.
I don't think it's doing humanity very good.
Humanity, yeah, you're right. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan either. It's just something where it's like, all right, you can do this. And it's like, all right, we can get questions. Like, do we want to start a website and then have people go there for questions? Or, you know what I mean? So you can start something from scratch or use it. But yeah, I totally agree. I don't like the platform. But what's there?
I think we just need, for anyone listening, like, be supportive of your fellow women skiers and do research on what's happened and who's been there. Like, I'm talking to some of the top girls right now that don't even know who Greta and Michelle and freaking.
Your K2 team manager. She's a woman. She's 26 years old and doesn't know who Sarah Burke is. Just saying. You have a pro model boot. That's a woman's boot. And your team manager does not know who Sarah Burke is. Yeah. But I mean, why should she? She got the job, right?
Do your research, step up, and make a change.
I think another, just because I'm generally in the business of telling stories. I think one of the reasons that people, because and this is just calling it like it is, all the least viewed episodes of any podcast are the women's guests, and that's just a simple fact of life. And I think it's because viewers will go into it thinking that instead of talking about how dope an athlete is or cool stories or something, it's like almost like an activist episode. But I hopefully, like, our listeners, because we have some loyal ass listeners, hopefully they listen to the Marie episode and they listen to this episode and they're like, oh shit, this isn't like just about women. This is another path in skiing that could apply to men, could apply to women, could apply to anybody you want, because it's the same sport at the end of the day. So props to anyone listening to this, because yeah, just in the past, it's like, anyone can say that they want to see more of X, Y, and Z, but it's the people that actually tune in and listen that should have a say. It's the people that actually recommend. I've gotten tons of DMs. You need to have more women on the show. Name some women. I have guys friends all the time. You need to have this person on the show because he does this and he does that, and has been his best friend for 20 years, and I'm looking out for my dog. That's how you actually support women's skiing, is just treat them like any other skier and advocate for them that way. At least in my perspective from the media side of things.
For sure.
In this sport, I'm going to say we're a niche of a niche of a niche in a sport of skiing, and then the sport of freestyle skiing, whatever we call it. So if we separate ourselves anymore, man or woman, white or black, gay or straight, it's so stupid. Like, the biggest problem was, to think about, like, when companies started to make what was it, non-gender clothing?
Unisex. Yeah.
I've been wearing a unisex hoodie for 40 years. Why did you all of a sudden make me think that a unisex meant both? Now I have to say I'm not. Like, a non-gender is the same thing as a unisex. So we separate ourselves rather than just be like, yo, we're all one. Right? Like, it's all the same shit. Going backwards on skis, doing tricks. So yeah, I think that's the biggest problem in our niche culture, is segregating, and then all of a sudden, like, siding with the minority and then hating the majority that actually made something happen. And then everyone just is wasting their energy on hate when you slide around on snow outside.
Yeah.
It's not about Taylor being a girl.
It's about dope stories.
It's about doing your own dope ass shit, creating your own lane, and still being in this fucking game at 30 some years old. It's crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about the event, because this is, like, honestly one of my favorite events that happened this year, because it's a result of somebody just getting up and doing something. There's no sitting around on the sidelines saying, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Why don't we have a lot of things? Let's go and create it. So you started this process before COVID, which is crazy, because that was like, this has been like a 6-year process, it seems like.
Yeah, I had an idea, definitely mad inspired by Queen's Cup. Like, that shit changed my life. For anyone who doesn't know who Queen's Cup is, it was an all women's ski and snowboard contest, and you would compete individually, but you would also have a team contest, and the team contest consisted of one pro female star that would they would lead your team. So that was a great way for me, as a young dreamer who wanted to be a pro skier, to connect with these people and see what it took to become that. And yeah, so that idea started from Queen's Cup, and I kind of wanted to do something similar. I hadn't heard of anything happening like that since then. So yeah, and then I see Uninvited and snowboarding blow up, getting tons of support, and also tons of women showing up. And you're like, wow, where did these people come from? It just gave everyone a platform, I think, to compete, but also like it all started from filming parts, and yeah, I'm kind of going on.
Have you really been trying to get this event go since before COVID? And
I
this
mean,
was the first year you did it?
that was my, yes, it like the idea came into play, and then I was kind of just focusing on my skiing and my parts and my sponsors. And I think I've just gotten to a point in my career where I've, yeah, I wanted to make a change, and I wanted to give other people opportunity and a place to be seen. And so I wouldn't say I've been planning it for 6 years.
Yeah.
I planned it for a year and
Okay.
got my decks together, sent them to sponsors, got the support, talked to who I needed to talk to, and made it happen within a year. But the idea has been there for a long time, for sure.
How many girls did you get?
Yeah, go ahead.
I invited 15 skiers, and the way I did that is mostly everyone minus one had hit street spots before.
Okay.
And
Who was the girl who hadn't hit street spots?
Lisa Zimmerman.
Really? That's hilarious. I would have never guessed her.
Yeah. So yeah, I had 15 invited athletes. Some the best in terms of competitions and getting paid and all of that, but some just like going out on their own and hitting street, and mad respect to them. Because that's what I did, and that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, so I also wanted to open it up for 10 other women to go out and film something. And I got like 68 video submissions and ended up having to pick 10 from those 68 video submissions. And so we had 25 total.
Dope.
The event. Yeah.
You know what we should do, Taylor? I won't do it with you, but you can just do it if you want. You should honestly do this, like what Phil did with Off the Leash video contest, where it's just your best footage of all time, 90 seconds. Best footage of all time, right? So imagine if you had a girls contest, urban rail video contest. Your 90 seconds of best urban of all time, your whole career, anything you have on a hard drive, and do an event this fall for it. Tell people right now, and then have them upload, and then just figure out how to get some money together. And then you just say you have to send it to me by October 1st, and then they get a whole month to watch it. You would get every girl in the world who ever skied urban make a 90-second edit.
You should collab on it. I think you guys should collab on it, from my perspective.
If you want, but other than that, just steal my idea, because I would love it. It seems so easy. Like, as I told Marie, I was like, dude, you're going to do a quarter pipe event after the Olympics every 4 years and invite every Olympian to your town in France and then do a quarter pipe, because there's no other women's quarter pipe event, right? So it's the same thing with this concept that I'm telling Taylor. I'm just like, man, it was the easiest shit that I've ever seen to just ask everyone for their best 90 seconds. And if you could do that with women and get 60 people to give you 90 seconds, you would have the illest women's urban fucking movie of all time as a playlist on your YouTube.
Yeah.
And that alone makes you win, not even the contest. If you said $4,000, $3,000, and you could ask any of your sponsors to be a presenting sponsor for $5,000, because that's what we gave the winner last year, right? And so for sure you can get 5G, and then just tell girls they have all summer to gather 90 seconds.
Yeah.
But I'd love to watch that, because we've never seen a good, I appreciate all the girls' efforts that have done urban ski stuff, but we still never seen the best, because they have filler stuff. They have one season. So if you could really give every girl an opportunity to make their best 90 seconds of all time, fuck.
Yeah, that
You're
would be
equal with
awesome.
men for the rest of life.
Yeah.
So that's just my super hyped on women's skiing to tell you randomly. Well, I'm getting drunk and not smoking for the first time.
I was wondering where that blunt was.
I don't know if you can.
This is my first show with no doobies per hour. because I'm in Quebec, and so I can't smoke in this house. And so normally I'm in my garage smoking 3 to 4 spliffs an hour per show. And so this is all new. I'm sorry, I'm sober.
Sober while you're drinking a whole bottle of rosé.
It's pink, man. It's pink.
Hey, so Taylor, what did because I think just this goes with anybody. I think anyone trying something new for the first time, they're afraid of bringing it to their sponsors, bringing it to these people that they make money from and need to maintain a relationship with, and getting turned down for an idea. So what did your sponsors say when you brought them this idea?
They were stoked. Yeah, I just put a pitch deck together and like told them the importance of this and what it could do for women skiing or just the culture in general. Like, yeah, I don't know. Just don't be scared to approach people and share your ideas, and I don't know,
Did all your sponsors support it?
stand up and do it. Most of them.
Okay, awesome. Do you have an eyewear sponsor?
Yeah, Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, Smith supported it. Line, I got a couple, Yeti and Montucky. I am not contracted with them, but they were really stoked. They were huge supporters of the event. And yeah, I kind of just sent that deck to the people that I know within these companies and had multiple Zoom meetings and conversations with them about it and what they could give and what I could give back and what this is going to do for the culture. And yeah, just made it happen. And
Was it a success?
it was beyond what I could have imagined. It was insane, and it's going to happen again.
Awesome.
It's,
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. It was so cool. It was like I took my idea and looked at the events that I've been to, and took the things that I really liked out of those events. I think being together was really important. So we housed everyone at the Brighton Lodge. I fed everybody, and just
So
didn't.
that was like the dope part about Queen's Cup too, right? Was the lot like nighttime experiences? Because
Yeah,
I remember how much effort those girls put into whether it was the pajama part, just stupid shit that never, because they weren't around guys or they were always around guys, right? So I remember just talking to them like, we're doing a pajama party this night, and then we're going to do like a makeup night this night. And I remember how big a deal it was because they finally could do everything they wanted to do as girls in the sport of skiing.
Yeah.
Because they were always sleeping on a couch with 10 other guys
Right.
for every other night of their whole careers.
A lot of loud singing. That's always the hallmark of the
Out of
women's
hand
events.
singing and dancing.
Yeah, we had some karaoke nights, just bonding, we always looking at each other through Instagram, and there's people competing and there's people trying to film parts, and there's never been an event that brings everyone together and just creating a sense of community. So that was really important. And also not being too focused on winning and giving opportunities to the rookies, to the MVPs, to the creative people, the style people. And then just having at the end, we did a jam, and that's where the big money came in. But it didn't feel competitive. Everyone was hyping each other up, and everyone was throwing down so hard. Like I opened it up for the public, like the Salt Lake community here, skiers, snowboarders afterwards, and the girls were doing what the guys were doing. So that was amazing to see. And all the people that showed up that weren't in the invited portion of the contest, like they were stoked to see what everyone was doing, all the women were doing. So yeah,
Who's the illest girl out right now?
Man, there's so many people.
Like
There's
who are you the most? Like, let's be ignorant and let's be Taylor as a super fan, where it's okay to, you know what? You have to have someone
Not be
that you like
objective,
watch,
yeah.
and you're like, yo, I could watch them all day. Like, do you have a favorite?
uh two people come to my mind.
Okay,
Olivia Oslin,
okay, agreed.
she won the Rail Jam, and Shiori Takahashi. She's
The girl that was a mogul skier. That's a Red Bull.
No, that's Henri. Uh,
Okay.
Also
Chiodi
from
was
Japan.
also a mogul skier that competed with Henri, but I met this girl 3 years ago. She was learning like 270s on, and now she's like filming her own street parts. She's like every day going out to the streets in Japan and filming street parts. And she's like the one girl that I've seen take this street idea and just like make it happen.
Say
She's
her name again.
Shiori Takahashi.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you for a link when we hang up because I am interested.
So dope and so stylish. She loves skiing. She cares about it. She like deserves the world. She's incredible.
Did she
And
come to your event?
she came to my event. Yeah.
So how did you know about her? You say, so I only knew about this mogul girl. Like, it's hilarious because in the last year, like me and all my friends are like, you see this fucking girl? Blah, blah, blah. She showed up at Slush, like after we were talking, because I've been watching her through all last fall and whatever. But it was weird how she appeared. She just
Yeah.
appeared in the algorithm because she was a Red Bull girl and a freestyle skier. And then all of a sudden she was on rails, right?
Yeah.
And then she has crossover coming from moguls because she was Red Bull before rails. And then she's Japanese. But like, how do you discover this girl?
Such a special story, honestly. So 3 years ago, she's 18 years old, maybe knows 5 words of English, just getting into park skiing. I think someone in Japan showed her my Instagram. So she was like, I'm going to go spend 3 months in Utah and ski at Brighton Resort. And she figures out her own Airbnb, figures out her pass, her transportation, not once hits me up on Instagram and is like, hey, I know you from Instagram.
She went solo.
I'm solo. I'm coming to Utah. Never once hit me up. And a friend, I was skiing Brighton, and this guy I knew was skiing with her, and he's like, hey, this is Shiori. She wants to meet you. We meet and ski a few laps. It's the end of the day, and I'm like, hey, Shiori, like I'm on Google Translate, like, hey, Shiori, like, how are you getting home? And she's like, oh, I'm taking the bus. I was like, oh, I'll give you a ride. Let me give you a ride. The bus is kind of a
You're so stoked.
Yes.
Like all my Japanese friends in skiing, just so you know, they only knew 5 words and we didn't have Google Translate. And all we knew was, oh, ski? No, smoke, then ski. Oh, sleep. And this is all my Japanese friends for 5, 10 years in skiing. So the fact you have Google Translate, that would have been so fun to actually know my friends that I slept with and hung out with for years.
Yeah, it was so cool. And the whole way down, she's Google translating me like, I'm like, why'd you come to Utah? What are you doing here? And she's like, I came because you ski here. And I was like, oh, this is
So you just that has to be so wild.
It
So
was
wild that phone
so-
tell you that.
so wild, and it just like hit my heart, and it was amazing. So I found out that she's staying with these Mormon people, and I'm like, all right, like they're trying to convert you, like come stay at my house.
No way. So she
And
found an Airbnb room in a Mormon person's house?
yeah, and they're trying to convert her. So I'm like, we got to get her out of here. Like, come stay with us. So she comes to stay with us, and at that time I'm filming for Colleen's movie, and
Can
Colleen.
you imagine? Can you imagine what she felt?
Oh yeah, I mean I felt it too.
It was Christmas times Easter Bunny times fucking birthday times like any unicorns and magic princesses what you offered her. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean I felt it too. Like this girl is she's a heartthrob. She's amazing. She impacted my life hard. So yeah. And then I'm filming with Coco. Coco, Jay Lee are coming out here to film for Coco's movie. And I hit up Coco and I'm like, hey, this girl's never hit street before. Like, you think she can join in with us? Like, so she hits her first street spot with us, and never been on a winch. Her first street spot was with a winch, and she was like, I'm scared, but fucking rocked it, like killed it, and ends up like hitting a backcountry jump with us, does the biggest backflip I've ever seen anyone do into POW, stomps it so hard. And yeah, ends up filming some clips for that movie, and ever since that we've been tight. I wanted to go on my own adventure and create and produce and edit a film kind of based on our relationship. So I grabbed a handful of people. We spent a month in Japan with Shiori, Jay Lee, Issa, Tavid, and I go out and we film for a month in Japan with Shiori, and we just have been tied ever since.
So did you do all urban when you went to Japan?
Yeah, our idea was to do a little POW too. We did a little bit, but it was like we were focused on street and then didn't really get good snow during our time period of filming POW. So there's a little like POW shots in a couple.
Was it all Sapporo urban?
Sapporo, Otaru, and Mururan.
Okay. So all Northern Island.
Yep.
Okay. Dope. And when did that come out?
3 years ago. It's called
So what has this Japanese girl been doing for 3 years? Because now I discovered this new mogul girl. But where's this girl at? Is she still putting out content?
Yeah, she won Super Unknown last year.
This Japanese girl just won Super Unknown.
Last year, yep. She like filmed a whole street part to get into Super Unknown, got into Super Unknown, won Super Unknown.
Is she the first girl to ever win Super Unknown?
No. No, I don't think so. Who won?
Did you know this, Ethan? Did you know
Well,
this
yeah,
Japanese girl won Super Unknown?
Yeah, I remember seeing this. Yeah,
Okay.
they do men's and women's Super Unknown, and then they do like an OG award, and then maybe rider vote. I think there's 4 awards given out.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Old head ignorance. Didn't know. Thought there was just
they've
one.
been switching up the event, so it's kind of easy to get lost in it now.
Maybe she was I mean, shout out to Rosina for like opening that world for us. Talk about like standing up and fighting for what you want. Like she was the only girl who submitted one year, and since then Level 1 has opened it up for women. So shout out to Rosina.
I want to big up Dasha right now because Dasha entered Phil's event last year, right? And out of 63 urban edits, Dasha got 3rd place, like as far as viewer fan choice. And so like I look at that too, like, yeah, I just want to big up Dasha out of randomness of people that she was the only girl. Only girl that she got 3rd place. So
Shout out Dasha. She belongs here for sure. And I've told her that a lot.
Fan.
Because
super fan.
Yeah, good. I hope she hears that.
She might be on the show. Yeah, we've been talking about her this year. She's gnarly. Super gnarly. What was the I don't know really how to phrase this. Like the winning criteria for your rail jam. Like who was getting awarded? Was it by trick? Was it by fan vote, judges? Like who was getting paid out and why?
So for the first 3 days, we had just an open session on the private park that Brighton had built for us. And before the contest started, I let everyone know that it's rider voted. And I'm giving away MVP, which is $3,000, and rookie, most stylish, most creative, and best slam. And those 4 awards were $1,500. And all of the people that were also skiing that course got to vote on all of those things. We on night 3, we watched about a 40-minute video, and then everyone voted. Votes came in quick, and yeah, so that was the first three days. And then final day, we had a rail jam set up. They weren't allowed to hit the rails. They were just looking at them. They were ready to go. And it was first place, second place, third place, and the judges were myself, Maria Adams, Rel Harwood, and McKenna Brown. And it was an overall impression. And yeah, we gave away $8,000 for first place. Just Olivia got MVP. Olivia got first place. She walked away with $11,000.
What
is your goal
That's a
to
lot of
keep
money.
everything? Is your goal to keep everything invited? Like, because it's very small and unique, right? As far as the involved. And then when you brought up Queen's Cup, the whole idea of Queen's Cup was it was kind of an open event / camp, right? And so do you plan on keeping your event always pretty exclusive to the top tier of the sport?
I think it's really the problem with making it an open event is I really like the fact that we can all stay together. And I'm going to continue doing it at Brighton. Brighton Lodge can only house a certain amount of people. I want to be as inclusive as possible, which is why I opened up the video submission portion of it. I think that, the video submission is the most open that I'll get. Like you gotta work to be here. If you want to be here, you gotta work for it. And I don't want to exclude everybody, but I think that creates an opportunity for people to be like, hey, well, I really want to be here, so I'm gonna go film the best thing that I can film.
No, it makes sense because not everyone should be invited just because they woke up being a girl. So I get it. And especially because nowadays in the sport, it's you can buy a lot of opportunity. You know what I mean? So I like it. So you answered it perfectly.
No, I also like the way you said that, Iberg. Like the part of everyone being treated equal is like taking them serious enough to be like, okay, just because you woke up a girl doesn't mean that you get an invite. Like you got to be sick because we have standards.
Or put in the effort.
And you got to put in work. Exactly.
Like whether it's find a cameraman, find an editor, become an editor.
Yeah.
Put your camera on a tripod.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things where you can always say, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. And then people that actually achieve in life don't say, I didn't have X, Y, and Z. Oh, I never had a cameraman. Oh, I never had this. Dude, I've seen guys that film full segments with a tripod by themselves in urban scenarios. There was 2 guys that did that in Phil's contest last fall. And I'm sitting there. I'm just like, how do you get the motivation? You really pulled a bungee back yourself? You really put a camera on a tripod? You so fucking ill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just the whole concept. There's no real reason. Anyone that makes an excuse why you can't be something, it's because you spend more time thinking about excuses than ways to solve it.
Totally. You got to want it.
I really appreciate this, Taylor. Like it's fun talking to you. Like, cause I don't know. I just know the older women's side, but I've never got to talk to any of the, even though you're old, I guess we could call it. But like, I just look at you as such a young person, right? like as far as like when I look at like the whole sport, because like when I say young, it's the whole concept of young being doing something that no one else does. And for the fact you put on an event that no other woman did at age, what, 33 you are now?
31.
31. You're still young if no one's ever done it before. So if you're 50 and you do something for the first time, you're young too.
It's a mindset.
So that's kind of how I look at it. It's no disrespect that you've been in the game for so long. It's more of the idea of what you're doing the last handful of years is your biggest impact. And I honestly believe like how I have a problem in men's side of the sport where I always think, Michael Jordan sold more shoes after he retired, where in the men's side of the sport, everyone's waiting for someone like Tanner to just get injured so they don't have to pay him more money. So like the men's side is kind of messed up. And then with the women's side, I look at it like, I'm like, oh man, let's create some superstars that can last forever. So I see you as this very unique person that you've had so many women in the previous allow you to get to this position, but they never stayed relevant, right? Sarah, Christy, Greta, all your idols, they never stayed relevant. They got theirs and then they held on to it. So what I'm impressed by you is like you got yours now and you're figuring out a way to stay relevant where the other people just figured out how to hold on to what they got. So I really enjoy like listening to you and seeing what you're doing and seeing what you're giving back. And I'll say honestly, if you ever want to do something, I'm in. Because all I do is poke all of my friends that are girls and being like, man, here's your opportunities. And they're like, yeah, but I already got this X, Y, and Z. Because I do the same thing with my guy, like still today, Phil Bellinger just stopped by, dropped off your skis, dropped off your boot, is fucking killing it, is going to the next thing and doing 50 things. He's been in this fucking game since 1996, making his first edit. And he still wants to talk with me about how we can do something doper for the sport every day. So
Yeah, that's a beautiful
point being is that's the whole goal, and I appreciate what you do. And I just wanted to say that. So out of the last 2.5 hours, I think you're super impressive. I like to hear what you do and I appreciate everything you've done for the sport.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're more than welcome because it's ill to watch from afar, not knowing you.
Thank you. And thanks for having me. I love talking about this stuff. And yeah, I could just sit here and talk all day about this sport because I fucking love it. And obviously you two love it as well, doing what you do. So thanks for doing what you guys do.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And any girl that's listening, you can do anything you want. Sky's the limit. Just think about it. Brooke can still do stuff. Okay. No, I need to ask you now, Brooke. I just called you Brooke. Why the fuck do you say Taylor Brooke Lundquist? Like, Brooke's obviously not your mom or dad's last name. So
My
do
middle
people
name.
call you? It's your middle name. But have people always called you your middle name, or is that what you did for cool when you were a pro and you're like, yo, I'm gonna put my middle name in this bitch?
My friend Carly, actually, when I was looking for sponsors, helped me like create a logo for myself that I'd like pin at the end of the email, and she created TBL. So I got to give her all that credit, and it's just kind of become my brand, my identity throughout the years. So
Yep.
yeah.
Nice.
So glad
I
you
didn't
covered
understand
that.
because I'm Eric Thomas, but ain't no one called me Eric Thomas.
Your middle name's
Yeah.
Thomas?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, it is,
what?
dog.
Eric Thomas Iberg. That doesn't quite have the ring as just.
Are you
Iberg.
kidding me? It sounds so authority. Like
It does. It sounds like you're a school
Eric
principal.
Thomas Iberg, I'd like to see you in court.
Yeah,
It sounds super fucking important.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like you should be a school principal, not a ski guy. Damn.
Right.
Yeah, well, Taylor, I'm so stoked. Like, I think one of the coolest things is, like, we talked about this with eCook too, with his video contest and like having a event space, is like you're giving people something to aim towards. One, and then also you're giving a place where people can connect. So we'll be interviewing someone, or someone will be interviewing someone years from now and be like, oh, I met this girl at Taylor's event and then we did this. Or I was a kid and I saw her event and then that made me want to do this. So just because it's brand new, we're not going to see the actual effects of how important what you're doing is until many years from now, because this is just planting the seeds of something for people to
He
aim
went to
at,
Queen's
connections
Cup
to happen.
20 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just to put that in perspective after we talked to Marie, because like I hope you get to listen to the Marie episode that we did, because to me she's the biggest baller and hustler, more than Sarah, more than any of these people. Like when you listen to the Marie episode, you'll be like, Jesus Christ, she did what? So it's just fun because the hustlers have to put in so much extra effort and not have like think about going to listen to this episode. And 20 years later, she's going to get satisfaction for what she put extra effort into. So it's just how it works. You don't look for it. It's not about gratification. It's about doing shit.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, Taylor, we'll let you go. We're going to do an outro when you're gone. But it was great to meet you. Great to finally sit down and talk to you. I'll send you Eric Thomas Iberg's contact info. I'll send you his info so you guys can connect if you want to collab on something. But we're so stoked. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Taylor.
This is one of the better episodes this season. We're stoked on this.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good talks. Take care.
Yep. We'll see you.
With everything you do.
Thank you so much.
You're
Peace
welcome.
and love.
Peace out.
Bye.
Now.
Sick.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
She was fucking dope, dude.
I still think of her as a young person with fresh perspectives. I can't look at her as like a 30-year-old veteran.
Yeah.
Because she's fresh.
Well, she's like just constantly reinventing herself, which is the key to longevity. It's like she was in comps, and then she was competing, and then she was in comps, and then she transitioned to street, and then she was competing in street events that they're coming up with, like the whole Do Tour thing that's going on. And Brielski, now she's doing her own event, pro model stuff. She's just dope. She's just dope and reinventing herself. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
She like sincerely loves the sport and is a go-getter. Like she's not going to sit around pouting, why doesn't this happen? Why doesn't that happen? She's like, nah, I want my pro model ski. I'm going to ask about it. I want an event for women. I'm going to put it together. Just that's the way to get shit done.
Hell yeah. No, I was super stoked. Never taught. I only, when I saw her at that Tell a Friend, I just went up to her and said, hello, my name's Eric Iberg. I'm impressed by what you do, blah, blah, blah. So that was the only time I ever met her before, was when I approached her and told her that she was awesome for a half second. It was minus 20 fucking degrees.
She's super dope. I'm stoked on that. And then, hopefully we can get some more ladies on this season if they check their requested DMs.
I'll be stoked, man.
It'll be dope. All right. What was your DPH this time?
0. My DPH was fucking 0 for the first time in 23 episodes. Fucking bullshit. I'm going to go sit out beside. I'm going to smoke legal weed in Quebec out that door in a second.
Sick. And we're recording tomorrow. Don't forget tomorrow.
I won't forget. I'll get more drunk because it's at nighttime, so it should be great.
This is going to be a good one. We're going to talk to Ryan Stevenson. We're going to see what it's like as a person that is doing the new comp scene. He was on the traditional route, and then, I don't know the story, but he was all in on the traditional route, and then now he's all in on the alternative route with the slush and the jib leagues of the world. So I'm interested to hear his story. He's an interesting character.
And I'm interested because I've never fucking heard his name in my goddamn life.
Yeah.
And out of all the people we've ever interviewed, I know who they are.
Yeah.
This is the first person ever. So my ignorance is going to be out of hand. You picked him out, so let's learn about the young kid.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Thank you very much. Peace out.
Peace.